you've ever asked yourself, what were they thinking, then you've come to the right place. And the Gary Condit scandal is making a lot of us think about ourselves. Are we in a moral upswing or going down the tubes? Are we too accepting of bad behavior or too quick to judge? We've got answers. And some new polls showing we're judging Laura Bush very positively. Find out what she's doing right and why we love Laura. And the top 3 lies we tell our spouses and not what you think. Find out on Beyond the News. We're next.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Derry Alexander. Firefighters out west are fighting to get some big fires under control. A blaze in Wyoming has grown to more than 3,700 acres since Sunday, and the forecast today calls for wind and dry weather. About 100 multi-million-dollar homes have been damaged. In Southern California, firefighters hope to have a wildfire near the Cajon Pass under control by this evening. It's about 60% contained now. So far, no one has been injured and no buildings have been damaged. The top continues to blow on Europe's most active volcano. Ash spewing from Mount Etna has forced the main airport in eastern Sicily to close. Emergency crews are working to redirect lava from a tourist area. No towns have been damaged yet, but fewer tourists are visiting the area. There could be a new round of trouble for boxer Mike Tyson. A woman from California says Tyson assaulted and raped her earlier this month. Tyson and his lawyers deny the charge and say they'll cooperate as investigators look into the claims. No charges have been filed. Tyson spent more than 3 years behind bars for a 1992 rape conviction. The man with the first self-contained artificial heart can now walk short distances with a bit of help. He's also able to communicate, write letters, and he's talking. The patient is off a ventilator, and doctors say his organs are working properly. And finally, something that could really stink. Look at that puckering up to a piggy. Doctors and workers at an Indianapolis hospital are kissing pigs, all for a good cause, of course. Look at their faces. The money raised goes to the American Heart Association, and those pigs look rather stinky, only for a good cause. Those are the latest headlines. Our next update at the top of the hour. Stay tuned now for Beyond the News. That's coming up.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Georgia Witkin. For the next half hour, we take you past the headlines, we take you beyond the news. And all the news surrounding Gary Condit and his affair with Chandra Levy has made many of us go beyond the facts and into our hearts and minds and ask, just what kind of society have we become? Are we amoral and unaffected by scandals, or are we too ready to judge and be the jury whenever someone makes a moral misstep? Let's put it to our panelists who do get to play judge and jury, at least for the next 15 minutes or so. Lisa Turner, Democratic consultant. Tony Campolo, sociology professor at Eastern College and former spiritual advisor to President Clinton. Patrick Scully, communications director for the Catholic League. And Rebecca Hagelin, columnist for WorldNetDaily.com. Okay, quick poll. Are we in a state of moral decline?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Okay, we have the 2 no's. Let's start with the no's. Why do you say no? People are looking at all of the scandals and what's going on, and they're saying this is scary stuff.
Let's just start statistically. The latest study on adultery. The fact is that 75% of American men are faithful to their wives. In 1950, it was only 50%.
So they tell this survey.
That's all we've got. That's all we've got is answers to surveys.
Well, there are lots of surveys, lots of different
Yeah, but the
stuff
one out of
there.
the University of Chicago that dominates everything says that it's 75% are faithful to their wives, as opposed to 50% in
Patrick, you want to get in there?
That's a fantastic statistic, but the fact of the matter is 1/3 of all children today are born out of wedlock. In this country, 70% of African-American children born out of wedlock.
May I point out to you that the number of children born out of wedlock has declined to a 30-year low.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Speaking of born out of wedlock, many of our founding fathers did have mistresses, did have children out of wedlock. We're talking about Jefferson. We're talking about Franklin. Are we being hypocritical now? Is this the way things have always been?
We're human. The problem is that right now in our society, we know more about what our leaders are doing than we did in previous years. And because we know more about what they're doing, it's more important that we take a moral stand against those activities, because we have to set some standards for our children to follow. I have a column called My Sons Are Watching on worldnetdaily.com that talks about my sons are watching our nation's leaders and how we all respond to the illicit
Many people are worried about our
etc.
nation's leaders because they feel that those who are in power now don't have as much guilt as they should. They have double standards for themselves. You buy into that?
Our nation's leaders are leaders. It's not for us to judge. Only God is to judge. We are optimistic as people. We're hopeful. I think that giving to charities is up.
But let me tell you about
drug use
judging.
is down.
Okay, 60% of the people in Condit's district are saying they're not going to vote for him again. So my question is
We're a
that
long way away from 2002, and let the voters of the 18th congressional district make that decision 18 months from now.
60%
Here's my question about that. Do you think that if, in fact, they don't vote for him, it's because they think he may be involved in a crime, or that it is a moral decision?
Out of all the issues that are out there, there is no way that we can judge right now why they're going to reelect him.
60% aren't going to vote for him. The other 40% are dating him. It's absolutely, it's ridiculous. I mean, the bar is set so low now that the standard is if he didn't do anything worse than President Clinton, then it's going to be okay. How low is the bar going to go?
That's the question, is how low is the bar going to go, and what are we going to show our children? I know one of the statistics you quote, Tony, is that few of our young people are getting pregnant. Well, that's because more of them are having sex a la Clinton and Monica. That's the problem that's going through our public schools today, is the sexual type.
Tony, go ahead. You want to get
I just want to say that, you know, you write good columns that call people to morality. Preachers and priests across the country are calling people to morality. Promise Keepers has called men to faithfulness. Southern Baptists have this program, True Love Waits. These programs are effective. They are impacting the nation. People are changing for the good.
Speaking of effectiveness, let me ask you this. Let's say that there's a politician who has behaved in a way that we all agree is immoral, abused their power. Anyone argue that Condit didn't abuse his power, etc. But they are effective as a politician. They're effective for your district. Do you vote for them or do you not vote for them? That's a measure of the country's morality.
Absolutely.
What's the answer? Do we or don't we?
The answer is, I think we don't. And I have a feeling down deep inside that when the chips come to fall on Condit, the question will be, can we trust this man? Can we trust this man in politics? And the truth is, if I can't trust him with his family, can I trust him in office? And the answer is no,
So, you know,
and people will vote against him for that reason.
What we have here is a moment of agreement. So we're going to take a break on that moment because I don't want that to go away. And don't you go away, because up next we're going to put our panelists through our perilous true-false round. And later, husbands and wives, beware. You're about to be found out. A new survey found that there are big secrets that spouses keep from each other, and we have all the dirty and not so dirty details. So you know what? Stay with us.
People are so in love with their Camrys, they've made it the #1 selling car in America for the 4th straight year, with more repeat buyers than any other car.
1 part tulip, 2 parts French vanilla. Add 1 whitewash shutter. Mix 1 quart lazy afternoon. Stir in 1 cup sunshine and a pinch of fresh sand. Serves 1 or a family of 6. Introducing Swedish Home by Ethan Allen. All the ingredients you need to make an elegantly simple home.
Dogs love home cooking, or new pedigree Little Champions. Gently prepared, then sealed in our revolutionary flavor lock pouch. For the home-cooked taste dogs love.
Yeah. What are you doing in there? I'll be right there.
We're looking at a live picture right now, and there's no police presence down here.
The gunman on the loose.
The chase is on.
This is our job, and we're going to stick with it. He's lit himself on fire. Get the close-up, we can get everything we need. The people on the ground don't even know we're there.
Saturday, Gay Ed. It could become part of your child's school curriculum. We report both sides of the story. You decide. Fair and balanced this weekend, only on Fox.
Are we in a moral decline in this country or not?
There's not even a question about that.
I don't think so.
The morality of the country is down in the dumps. Not really. I think they should take the word moral out of the dictionary.
Welcome back. Some thoughts on the state of morality in the country, and that's what we're talking about in the light of the Gary Condit case. My panelists are Patrick Scully, Lisa Turner, Tony Campolo, and Rebecca Hagelin. Okay, let's do some true-false. Right from the top, let's start where we left off. True or false? Scandals with politicians are teaching our kids that this kind of behavior is not so bad. True or false?
False.
False.
True.
It's true.
It's false.
Okay, you're working with kids.
Yeah.
You work with college-age kids.
That's
You're
right.
a teacher. So what are you hearing?
What I'm hearing is, be sure your sins will find you out. There has been a reaction formation against Clinton Condit. People have seen this, seen the consequences of sin, and are becoming much more conscious. Namely, you don't get away with it. If the President of the United States can't get away with it, nobody can get away with it.
Well, you know, I hope you're right, but I think what we see is a lot of children start emulating and copying the behavior that's involved. I mentioned the Clinton-Monica type of behavior, but there's others
You're talking about
too.
oral sex.
Yes, exactly.
And you think it's because of
problem in
that?
schools. I mean, I've talked to teachers in Florida, friends in Oregon, and Washington Post had an article about it. They start emulating the behavior.
I think it's great that the world in which Tony operates, in that school, religiously based, that very may well be true. But we have an entire generation of kids now who learn the meaning of oral sex from President Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. That can't be
you don't
good.
think that's what
that
we
can't
learned?
be good.
No, and I think
they knew about
to
it.
shift the blame on politicians is the wrong way to go, just like we've done with education.
So we give them a pass. Let it go.
Parents have got to step up and take responsibility for their children's behavior,
That's true.
and they have to step up for the responsibility of the children's education. I think to shift blame is to me, that's morally wrong.
And let's talk about Nelson Mandela, and let's talk about all the good people who are in political office, and let's talk about the Mother
Okay, let's talk about something else.
These are good models
Let's
for
talk about
kids.
something else. Lisa, I want you to start this, and I really don't want to cast any aspersions on Chandra Levy. We're talking in general here because of the case. True or false? Any woman who has an affair with a married man is herself acting immorally. True or false?
False.
True.
True.
True always.
That's the definition. True. Absolutely.
True. Okay, he's the only one saying false. Why? It's all the married guy's responsibility because he took the vow?
I'm not one to judge on morals, and I don't think we should as well. I think a person has to live with their own individual
You have to
reality.
understand.
I don't really believe
You
that.
have every law.
I'm not going to make a moral judgment on somebody else's
morality.
behavior.
Okay, Rebecca, go ahead.
Every law we have in this country is based on somebody's view of morality. Whether it's you can't go 75 because you'll speed and kill people, or whether it's you have to be true to your marriage vows because it's a contract. So we have to instill upon our country and upon our children moral values.
I
Very
think that there's no
important.
question that we need a little more judgment in this society. Now, that doesn't mean you string them up in the town square. There's got to be a middle ground. But it also doesn't mean anything goes.
Would you have made a moral judgment about Adolf Hitler?
You let it go.
Absolutely, but that's not an affair with a married man.
Well,
it's a different subject
you
for
see
me.
a different kind of morality
Absolutely.
here.
My judgment is
Okay, let me ask you a very practical question. You start this one. True or false? We usually close our eyes to the immoral behavior of a public figure if we agree with them on political issues. True or false? True.
That's true.
True.
It's false.
False.
I think maybe.
Maybe.
Not allowed.
We have
Maybe's not allowed.
ethics committees that seem to be closing their eyes to one of their own. I mean, voters as well.
I think that the Republicans come down hard on the Democrats, and the Democrats come down hard on the Republicans. I think that each party has to judge its own people a little more severely and stop picking on the other party.
I'm glad that you're saying.
What about the groups that are supposed to be representing a particular segment of society? Where are the feminists were Gary Condit? Where was now with President Clinton?
Casting the first stone. Remember Speaker Livingston. Remember Speaker Gingrich, okay? We don't need to be going
They were
through that right now.
Republicans, and
Where's the outrage in these
feminists
groups?
I just was
screamed
on the program. I was on the program on Monday with the head of Now, who was outraged.
Okay,
at the
try
behavior of
this.
Condit.
Try this one. You start this one, Patrick. True or false? Our interest in scandals is not depraved. It's just human nature to be interested in others.
Oh,
True or false?
that's true.
That's true.
I agree. It's
That's true.
True.
That's true. So media gets a pass from all those people who are saying,
I don't know about a pass.
pandering.
Let me tell you, the media has been really the real heroes in this instance with Gary Condit, because actually Fox News is the one who put the screws to Gary Condit through the interview they got with the airline stewardess to make the D.C. police finally get him to admit to this affair. The media are the heroes.
Unless we're talking about the media that give Condit a complete pass and have mentioned him once since the scandal began, which is Dan Rather and CBS.
I disagree.
Yeah,
Gary Condit lives in my neighborhood, and Fox News The trucks are all over my neighborhood. It's hard for me to get to and from work, but I definitely don't agree with the way that the media has handled this. I think they've exploited the situation.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you to all of my panelists for their opinions, especially the positive note about Fox News Channel. And let me tell you something, our fascination with this story is not just depraved and not just negative. It tells us lots of positive things about human nature. We're programmed to respond to distress of children, and when we hear her parents, we think of Chandra as a child. We're programmed to solve problems, and until Chandra's found, we're involved. And we're programmed to gossip and talk about each other, and it's not all bad. That's how a community knows who needs help, who needs a visit. And to quote a Washington Post journalist, this story is not just about sex and power, it's about lying and trust and decency also. And if those aren't issues of our public concern, God help us. Amen from me. Stay with us. We're coming back, because up next, a new survey shows that we seem to like Laura Bush quite a lot, especially as First Lady. We're going to tell you why, and lots of other stuff like which First Lady we think is the smartest and which is the best role model. Then later, spouses, look out. New survey reveals those secrets you keep from each other, and if you don't already know what they are, we're going to tell you. So stay with us.
Two more summer blockbusters are heading your way from Suzuki. Lease the XL7 for just $249.95 a month with only $2,000 total to start. It comes with a third row of seats and available rear AC. Or check out the Suzuki Grand Vitara. At 0% APR for 48 months, you can save more than $4,300 in finance charges. It comes with a standard V6 engine, air conditioning, and more. We'll supply the blockbusters. You bring the popcorn. Visit your Suzuki dealer today or call 1-877-MY-SUZUKI.
Why?
My purse is gone.
It's got to be yours.
No, it's not here. It's my wallet in it. It's your wallet in it.
Waiter.
Oh, I can't believe it. It's gone. All our vacation money is in there. See it there? Our vacation is ruined.
Anyone could have it now.
It's a white purse. It's about like this.
White?
It's got a gold chain. All that cash. It was $6,700.
American Express travelers checks. Don't leave home without them.
Are you one of the millions of American males who would like increased sexual energy? If you've been considering Viagra as a solution, consider something different. All-natural Enerx. Clinical studies show various ingredients of Enerx enhance sexual energy, increasing desire, performance, and satisfaction. Enerx is all-natural with no side effects. With Enerx, you'll feel the increased energy within minutes and with no chemicals. We're so sure you and your mate will be completely satisfied. We'll offer you a 30-day, no questions asked, full refund. Enerx stimulates sexual energy by expanding the blood vessels, causing increased blood flow to specific areas of the body. Unleash the power of Enerx now.
Call 1-800-367-7960 toll-free, and it will be delivered discreetly to your home. Get results using the safe, all-natural alternative, Enerx.
Are we done yet? Dish for sale? Nope. You're gonna have fun taking that down.
Oh, we're leaving the dish, taking the receivers. Dish Network's taking care of the rest.
That's a deal. How about a deal on this?
Dish Mover, the hassle-free part of your move. Includes delivery, basic installation, and a new Dish 500.
So, your color.
Dish Mover from Dish Network. It's free.
Hey, this summer, your TV has 10 extra channels on the weekend. Preview 10 channels of America's Top 150 package for free during Dish Network's 150 weekend. Catch channels like Speed Vision, Do It Yourself and Outdoor Life, the Movie Channel, and Encore Movie Channel. Watch channels 280 to 289 every Thursday through Sunday. Cool down with hot entertainment. It's 150 weekends from Dish Network.
Welcome back. A new poll shows Laura Bush is getting some numbers that might make her husband a little jealous. 68% of people surveyed think she's doing an excellent or pretty good job as First Lady, and a whopping 81% think she's improved the image of the office of the First Lady. So what's Laura doing right, and how does she stack up against her predecessors? Joining us from Los Angeles, Carl Spirazza Anthony. He's an expert on First Ladies and author of many books, including First Ladies and The Kennedy White House, which comes out this fall. Welcome, Carl.
Thank you.
Okay, listen to these statistics. Job approval rating, 68% for Laura, 60% for Hillary in the same amount of time, the first 6 months. Now, we saw a lot more of Hillary. So where are the ratings for Laura coming from?
Well, I think part of it is an antidote, in a sense, to the activism of Hillary Clinton. This is not an atypical kind of trend. When Mamie Eisenhower came along after Bess Truman, and when Bess Truman came along after Eleanor Roosevelt, they were fairly popular. I think...
So you think it's more of a reaction at this point?
Well, everything is, yeah, everything has to be put in context, and, you know...
Okay, so let me give you another one, Carl. Let me interrupt just because there's so much I want to get to here.
Sure.
Improve the image of First Lady. 81% said Laura Bush. 52% said Hillary. Tell me, what is Laura doing that makes people feel that way?
In a sense, so far, very little. In that she has only now, right now, beginning to unfold with a lot of her public programs. It takes a while sometimes for these things to get up and running, and in a sense she has really just been a highly flattering and comforting, I think, visual. I think her warmth is immediately evident.
Okay, warmth counts. Now look at this.
And sincerity, I think.
Okay, so warmth, sincerity, look at this with me, Carl. This is going to be the ranking of First Ladies who we think are overall best. Number one, overwhelmingly Jackie Kennedy, then Nancy Reagan, Barbara Bush, Hillary tied, and Laura Bush, Lady Bird Johnson, and Betty Ford tied. 40 years later, Jackie is still overwhelmingly the favorite. Did Jackie have the same thing? Was it warmth, sincerity, or something else?
No, it was not. It was largely the 4 days of the president's death and funeral. If you look at the polls of Jackie Kennedy while she was in the White House in 1962 and 63, you see that there was a real mixed bag, that a lot of older conservative women thought of her as that girl, as they used to call her, in the White House. They didn't like her taking European vacations, fox hunting. They didn't like her wealthy European friends. But it was that astounding way she carried the nation through the funeral, really, that completely metamorphosized her iconic stature.
Right.
And I think that is in large part what we remember and think of when we think of her. Remember, the people in this poll, more than half of them weren't alive at the time of the Kennedy administration.
That's right. It speaks to her power. Okay, we have to stop, Carl. Thank you so much, Carl Spirazza Anthony. And next up, if you're keeping a secret from your spouse, watch out. We're going to reveal the stuff husbands and wives keep from each other, and some of it is pretty surprising. Some of it may even sound a little familiar. So stay with us. What secret do you typically keep from your husband?
How much I spend.
How much I play golf.
I don't really have any secrets from my husband.
I have no secrets.
Bachelor party stuff.
I really can't answer that right now.
He has no idea.
Enjoy something made better with time. Slow roast coffee from Maxwell House. It's worth spending time with.
Hey, you like delivery pizza? I like delivery pizza.
It's not delivery. It's French.
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
She's the biggest sport utility on the planet.
Yeah, big.
8.5 feet wide. Seats 84.
While other companies were busy thinking bigger, Subaru was thinking smarter. That's why the Forester gives you the rugged traction of all-wheel drive with a smooth, easy car-like ride.
Coming in, you have the colors?
No, that's pretty much it.
Subaru Forester. Sport utility tough, car easy.
Now you can get financing as low as 2.9% APR on all 2001 models.
Would you like to lower your monthly mortgage payments or use the equity in your home to consolidate your credit card or other debts? Just log on to ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIXED. Today's low fixed rate with 0 points is only 6.990%. Lower interest rates, lower monthly payments. It's smart money from ditech.com. For fast, friendly service, apply online or call 1-800-71-FIXED right now.
Out here, I'm in command. So am I supposed to say, slow down, guys, I'm constipated? I don't think so. You try to eat right. Sometimes you can't. Harsh chemical laxatives, they can kick in whenever and wherever. Not an option. So I rely on doctor-recommended Metamucil. It's got 100% natural fiber. Works with my body, gently, which is important to a sensitive guy like myself.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity. It's a story of sex, lies, and politics, of polygraphs, bloodstains, and dead ends. And for one anguished family, a missing daughter. What really happened to Chandra Levy? We'll go beyond the hype and headlines and search for answers. Plus, in our exclusive poll, the people who voted for Condit tell us what they think of him now. Join us for Vanished. Where's Chandra Levy? Saturday, Russia says a plan for fewer arms is at hand. Can Bush trust Putin, or is the U.S. defense playing Russian roulette? Barnes and Kondracki are the Beltway boys this weekend.
If honesty is the best policy, then it looks like some married couples might be opting for the next best thing, because a new Reader's Digest survey found 42% of husbands and 36% of wives do keep secrets from each other. But get ready, because we're going to spill those secrets. Joining us from Boston, Dr. Janice Levine, marriage counselor and co-author of the new book, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Love that title. Okay, Janice, I'm going to go over the top 3 things that spouses keep from each other, and then we'll talk about it. Are you ready? Number 3, problems at work. And by the way, more husbands than wives keep this one. Number 2, children's bad behavior or grades. And you guessed it, more wives than husbands keep quiet when little Johnny's misbehaves. And the number 1 secret spouses keep from each other, how much they paid for something. Okay, so money is a big secret. Why?
I don't think it's any surprise. Actually, in my own therapy office, I think that couples are much more private about money matters than they are even about intimacy and sex. Money is, as Julie Gottman said in this article, about power and about freedom, and people like to be able to have personal freedoms, and of course money impinges on the personal freedom of your spouse, and they may have something to say about that.
You would think that, Janice, now that women are earning money as well very often, that it would be less of an issue. Most people guess sex would come up.
Right. You would think that because women are often money earners, it would be less of an issue. But I think there are still some very definite societal roles that tell us that the husband is more the provider and in charge of the money. And that's why I think women feel, and they often have less earning power, so they feel less able to spend the money.
Okay, so here's a question about sex.
Yes.
You would have thought a lot of people were talking about sex. Only 19% of husbands, only 10% of wives say that they are attracted to somebody else and haven't told their spouse. Do you think that means it's just not happening very much, or that they are telling their spouse, or they weren't keeping it a secret, or that they're keeping it a secret from the pollster?
I think they're keeping it a secret from the pollster. I can't believe that more people don't have crushes. I mean, as they say, we're married, we're not dead. I think crushes are a biologically driven kind of thing, and we all are attracted to other people.
Okay, so they're lying. How about this? Right. When it comes to telling your spouse about all your past loves, listen to this. 62% of women say they have confessed everything. 52% of men, a little less, say that they have confessed everything. Do you think it's a good idea to really spill everything to your spouse?
I don't think it's necessarily a good idea to spill everything. I don't think everything is material. I don't think everything matters. I don't think all what's past matters. I think this has to be negotiated and very well understood about what's important between spouses, and if it is important or material to the relationship, then you should tell, and if not, it's not necessary.
Very interesting. So you don't think honesty is always automatically the best policy?
I absolutely agree with that statement.
Thank you for joining us. And here's my advice to couples. Don't use honesty as a blunt instrument or as an excuse for saying hurtful things, like how you really feel about their favorite shirt or uncle. Those secrets probably are better kept private. And that's it for us this week, but you can catch Beyond the News next Saturday afternoon at 2:30. And in the meantime, have a great week.